For this video, I'm going to take you on a quick tour of Centennial Park in Moncton, New Brunswick. I just got back from vacationing in Canada, and I had a great time while I was up there. One of the places that I visited was Centennial Park in Moncton. I realize this isn't really a tourist destination, it's just a municipal park, but it's a lot larger and more elaborate than you really expect from the street. Because, I just saw, a couple tennis courts, and I noticed the locomotive that was parked on the corner, and I was like, well, let me take a look. And once you start walking around, you realize how huge it is. It's 230 acres, so this place is massive. And there's a lot of great walking trails on the, I guess that would be the west side of the park. I mean, my directions aren't the greatest because of all the jet lag, but there were a lot of amazing walkways near the waterway, and that's at the bottom of the hill. And when you walk up to the top of the hill, they've got this Canuck fighter jet that's permanently moored like on a pedestal. They've also got a Sherman tank that's permanently parked there, as well as the steam locomotive that I mentioned earlier on the corner. So the park itself became Centennial Park in 1967. It had a previous name. I believe it was Moncton Nature Park before it changed names. Now, the Centennial for Canada was a year-long celebration that happened in 1967, and it was celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Canadian Confederation. So, quick disclaimer, I'm an American, and I will be honest, we don't talk about any of this stuff in school, which I find surprising. What little world history we cover is basically usually just World War I and World War II, and it's surprising how little our history classes discuss our neighbors to the north and our neighbors to the south. So, for American viewers like me who didn't know anything about this stuff, the Confederation of Canada took place in 1867, and it was when the province of Canada, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick were united into one federation that was called the Dominion of Canada, and that happened on July 1st, 1867. Canada definitely was established, it seemed like, in a much quicker process, because that's a huge territory to establish in 1867. By comparison, the United States, we started out with the 13 colonies and just kind of grew into the 50 states over time, and we were adding them into the 1950s. I think Alaska became a state in 1959, so we were adding them for a long time. Canada's territories have changed a little bit since then, but for the most part, Canada as we know it was established in 1867. So I'll talk a little bit about the locomotive. You'll notice that I do a lot of railroad and model train museums on this channel. And this is the former Canada National Railway steam locomotive 5270. It didn't always have this roof and covering, because I was looking around and researching it. Originally, it was just parked on a slab in the same location, but over time they built the roof. And honestly, if you look at the locomotive back in the day when it was first parked here, it was much easier to see. I realize they built the protective covering to protect the steam train from snow and all that other ice and rain and stuff, but I kind of wish I was here in the 60s and 70s when the locomotive was just here, surrounded by a small cyclone fence. Now they've got these giant gates, I guess protecting, for people from climbing up on the locomotive, as well as the roofing. And it's hard to get a good look at it now, which is a shame, because I'm a big fan of steam locomotives. One of my favorite places on earth is going to Steamtown in Scranton. I was actually driving past Centennial Park on my way to the hotel, and when I saw the locomotive, I just knew I had to stop and film a little. And overall, this is a great park. I figure I should probably give you a bottom line too. If you want to walk on the pretty extensive nature trails around the waterway, you also have swimming, a splash park, picnic and playground facilities. In the wintertime, you can enjoy skating on the lake, snowshoeing, tobogganing. And let's just say I'm from Florida, so we toboggan every day down here, but you only can do it up here in Canada, like in the wintertime. This park also offers the longest lit cross-country ski trail, so that's pretty nice. And they actually have a dog park as well, so you can bring your spouse, your pet. They've got some nice tennis courts and some lawn bowling, because who doesn't love to go lawn bowling? I know I do. I do it every day. Thanks for watching this episode of The Adventure Schmuck. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See everyone next week.